It's regional recap time, baby. Don't beg the 30% of you that have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And yes, I did play Gate Guardian. Yes, I got first place out of locals. I took it to a regional on Saturday. If you followed me on social media, we went through the entire paradigm. And I actually just had a lot of people just excited to be like, Robbie, you're playing Gate Guardian. So before you're like, okay, where's the deck profile, Robbie, be patient with me. I've had no time to film it. Yeah, actually, I've been very busy. I have cards like scattered everywhere, like on the table and everything. So be patient. I actually took a weekend off. Believe it or not, all the content was actually like pre-filmed out of the weekend. So this is like kind of like my return here. So actually kind of took time to myself. Went and played Pokemon, went and played a regional. It was just kind of nice to get a relaxing weekend and actually, getting the chance to, play the new block for this was actually very exciting. So I want to run down what I've seen update-wise on some of the metagame and so forth. So let's talk about this. So regionals are back this week, and we're coming off of OTS championships previously and the last YCS. So regionals are making their grand return. We had that 2-week block where you had what was it? Nothing in America for regionals. There were a couple of stragglers off in Europe, but we're back in full swing this weekend. Indy had 600 people. Indy had 623. It was 593 to start the event. The late registrants came in. We were at 623 players. Somebody's going to still comment and go, Yu-Gi-Oh's dying! There were a handful short or near 600 in Houston. That's 2 U.S. regionals that were effectively YCSs. Take a moment to think about that. Normally, California regionals pull in 600 plus, 600 to 1,000, give or take. So consider that. Too many YCSs happened in 2 regions. Now, that's not to say that, Florida had a regionals weekend too, and Pennsylvania also had regionals. So if those numbers don't tell you something, that one, the format is much better than it's been. We've talked about that. While some people might not like the diversity that is present here in this, well, that's fine. So that's some statistical data for you from what I have. I'm still putting together regionals. I also want to say in this video that, hey, if you've been to any of the regionals out of the weekend here, except for the PA regional, because I'm going to put that together and that'll be up this afternoon. But in terms of any of these other regionals, if you have any info from like Indy, if I get Indy would be in my own state and I'd have an idea what's going on there. I don't actually. I have a little bit of a snapshot, but same thing with Houston and whatnot. So even if you like top 32, top 64, you play something cool, please reach out to me so I can put that together. And then if you film, or if you DM me like 4 days later after I've already put up the video, I can't really edit the video to put that in. Yeah, people actually do that. They'll message me 4 days after a video goes up. And they'll be like, hey, I topped this regional. Can you put me in the video? I'm like, but the video has already been filmed and it's been uploaded. I appreciate the info. It's great. But unfortunately, I can't make an amendment to the video other than to put you in the description and mention that. So I don't know why I need to mention that, but common sense sometimes is not common per se here. So now back onto the topic of Gate Guardian. So I chose to play this deck because for those of you that have paid attention to this channel, I love Gate Guardian. I loved the concept of it. I always wanted there to be other bits and pieces for this and the chance to actually play this. This is going to come as a shock to some people here, but the list I actually piloted this weekend isn't even my own. I actually was going through the Gate Guardian group, reading a lot of theory. I had an active testing list, but it was not really performing up to the standard that I wanted to. And then I saw a deck profile come up on YouTube talking about Gate Guardian. And I was like, I was sitting down and watching the video. I was like, we're going to scrap the build I'm playing, and we're going to go ahead and play this one. So when I sit down and do the deck profile, all appropriately, everything will be linked for this. I've had a few people reach out to me already, and they're like, hey, give us the sauce, Robbie. And I was like, guys, I need you to be patient. because I need to give a proper thanks for this. I can't just, that no point if I've been like, this is my list. It's like, hey, I played Gate Guardian, all right? So I want to be very, like, upfront about that, you know? Net decking is a very essential thing in this game, but I just took the list, borrowed all of their ideas, and said, this is what we're going to do, and I had fun. Fun in Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh my god, playing Gate Guardian is so fun, but the concept of playing 2 pieces versus 1, infinitely better than trying 1 of each. I did like the idea behind 1 of each in terms of the deck, because it gives you more leeway. I also like the idea of playing Kashtira cards in it to a degree, but overall ended up not. I mean, my friend's borrowing my Kashtira deck, and he needed his invite, didn't even get the chance to go because of work, but yeah, my Kashtira stuff. So I can't build the hybrid build that includes, you know, the Kashtira cards in that, because loaning out cards to friends that actually get the chance to play crazily or, you know, need their invite. So good old helping out your friends. I've had my invite since 2019 here. It just keeps rolling over every single year at this rate. It's weird, right? But I don't know, man. I can't tell you how good it felt having people come up to me like all weekend going, oh my god, you're the X1 Gate Guardian, and you're playing this deck. One, your opponent doesn't know what your cards do, so that's like a home field advantage. But I handed my opponent all of my cards every time I played something. I was like, go ahead and read this. That way you have an idea of what's going on here. That way you can at least have an idea of what's going on in terms of the interactions. That way you're not like taken aback by something. And when you play a deck that, I guess this should be common knowledge for people, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, I guess, tend not to know these things. But if you're playing something that people don't know or something left field, you need to be very transparent with your opponent, and you need to communicate things with them and explain, you know, card interactions, how things are happening here. That way, it's very clear in terms of game state. I don't know why that's a confusing thing to people. People try to scumbag it, and they're like, well, you know, you didn't ask this. No. Communicate with your opponent. Make things very clear. You know, if your opponent needs to read something, they're allowed to. So communicate an appropriate game state at all points. I don't know why that's an issue for people, but it's not that hard, all right? So that's like a big takeaway out of this weekend, you know, playing something very roguish. You got to stay on top of things. So overall, from what I saw playing in the regional, this format is, just like as a competitor, this format is very, very diverse. I think the only real things I played that were double were Sprite and Kashtira. But, I mean, I played against Runic, Mathmech, double Sprite, double Kashtira. I don't even remember what my 8th round was, or what the other deck was in between there. It was a Despia player. I ran into, so yeah, that's basically everything in the meta, right? Minus a couple things like Rika. But you got your bases covered on this. So, I'm assuming Gate Guardian deck profile by Tuesday. I just kind of wanted to give an update, because I wanted to talk through some of my matches, but I also wanted to give like a weekend update coming off of events, telling people that, hey, the meta is very diverse, a lot of numbers, the same people that continue to munch and complain about the game, you know, oh my god, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is dying because numbers, you know, this format's too diverse. Sorry to tell you this, but a diverse format is healthy for the game, whether or not you choose to see it. We're seeing this being reflected in regional numbers right now. 600 people in 2 regionals at the same time over the weekend. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Is dying. Yeah, same stupid argument I hear all the time. And I will tell you right now that having not been to a regional in quite some time, it was very refreshing to see so many good faces that I'd seen over the weekend. So, guys, show us some love. Make sure you like the video so we can post the Gate Guardian video. I'll also link back to the original during that time so you can see that. But I ask you be patient a little bit more. Let me enjoy coming off of my vacation here. Very strange thing that big Yugi tuber MCO40 guy likes a little bit of time to relax. 4 videos a day does take its toll on you after a while. So we'll be back later on in the day with another regional breakdown. This time, fresh week. Patrons! Thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.